Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Jessica James, plant enthusiast, artist, and podcaster. Today I'm going to share with you my very first plant mail haul. In my last video, I talked about how shipping plants or receiving plants made me a little nervous. So funny because when I was recording that episode, I was like, oh snap, I didn't realize how soon it would be before I did that. And so I went a little crazy. I don't know. I'm not going to say it was a little crazy, but I got a little excited one night. I found a supplier that had some plants that I felt like would be really good for my Valentine's drop because, yes, I am into selling plants now. It is my thing. It's weird. I feel like I take my passions and I get so excited about them and I fall so deeply in love with them that I want to make them my life. Yeah. So when I fell hard into the plants, I just decided that when you have a love for something so much and you want to make it part of your life. And I always want to take it that extra step. I don't think I really know how to just have a hobby. I feel like I have to turn that hobby into my life. That's where I'm at right now with the plants. They have taken over my life. So I feel like if it's going to take over my life, like the art did, then I have to I got to start making money with it. I don't know. I really like helping people. There are a lot of people that say that they have trouble with plants, they love them, but they don't really know how to take care of them. And so I'm working on ways to incorporate. I'm not just selling you a plant. I'm also giving you education and helping you so you're not so hard on yourself when a plant dies or something. It's more than just selling a plant. It's more than just me selling you a plant. There are people that will buy the plants that I don't know and I don't really ever here's your plant and then you go on with your life and I go on with mine. But even in the short amount of time that I have started doing this, I've developed some people that I'm like, hey, let's be friends and let's talk about plants. And if you need any help and if I have the knowledge, I will help you. And maybe if I don't have the knowledge, I will find it for you and I'll help you. So I just feel like this whole thing is just more than just selling you a plant. So let me get back to the task at hand today, and that is showing you all the plants that I got in my haul. So I ordered all of these plants online. I've got 8 varieties. So I ordered more than one, obviously, but I have 8 different varieties for you all. And I feel like I've got a good selection of varieties. So I feel like I can tell you how well they shipped because I know some plants ship better than others. Also, keep in mind, this was a U.S. supplier that I purchased these from. So this isn't an overseas situation where they're having a lot longer transit time, going through customs and all of that. And this was also East Coast. So again, transit time was not as long as it normally would be. I want to say usually East Coast is around 3 days tops. However, where this particular nursery was, should have only been a 2-day transit. They were supposed to be delivered on Friday. It actually had to sit, I think it was Friday first or Saturday. I don't know. They're supposed to be delivered on the weekend and they didn't come in. And so they actually sat again overnight at the post office. And so I was super freaked out and it's, the weather is unpredictable. I'm in North Carolina, so it's unpredictable. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold. So I was kind of panicking a little bit about that, but it came in on Monday. And so I was immediately as soon as it got here, I was I have to open these right now, which you should do that anyways. If you're expecting plants, you should not let them sit in a box because it's traumatic enough for them anyways. All right, let's jump right into the first plant. Not that any of them are my least favorite, but I'm just going to start with my least excited. Not really. I'm excited about all of them, but I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm going to just go with it. Okay, so the first plant that I got is a variegated peace lily. This is actually a domino. See if you guys can see that. It's so cute. Okay, and of course, all of these are starter plants. I bought starter plant sizes because I'm going to grow them out. But yeah, so this is actually a really good size. I thought it was a really good size. I was expecting it to be a lot smaller. I feel like almost everybody likes a peace lily. If I'm being completely transparent, I don't care for them. I don't know what it is about peace lilies. Maybe it's because it reminds me of funeral homes, the smell of them. I don't know. And I have issues with death. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. If you guys like peace lilies, let me know in the comments. But I did buy this because I'm not a super huge fan of peace lilies. Some people are, and so some people might want the variegated version of it. And I also was kind of hoping that maybe this plant would grow on me more if there was something else different and special about it. But yeah, so there we go. Variegated peace lily. My next plant. So here we are. Look how beautiful she is. So this is a variegated Maranta Beauty. I think it's also known as like rabbit foot or something, I think. If you know, let me know in the comments. I think I have that name right. But I am such a sucker for calatheas. Look at that. That's so pretty. Some people struggle with calatheas. I, knock on wood, I don't. I have a lot of them. I have Marantas, I have Trio Star. Like I feel like a lot. And they all do really well in my house. And whenever like I notice, some browning on the tip, which this came in a little browned, I just trimmed it off. I trimmed them off. And then I'm like, okay, I need to up the water a little bit. So I just make sure that my calatheas stay warm and hydrated and humidity. So isn't she a beauty? These will all be in my Valentine's drop. Well, not all of them. Some of them I'm waiting to grow out a little bit more, I think. I don't know. The bigger the plant, the more valuable they are, I think. So when I seen pictures of it, I was like, oh, I've never seen one of those before. I think I'm probably going to hold on to this one a little bit longer before I sell it. Like I want to see that first variegated leaf. But here she is. And she's, of course, got water spots. I didn't clean these guys up before I did the video. I was just like, I've got to record this because I need a plant video for this week. And I've been so busy with the podcast, I haven't had a chance. But anyway, so here she is. I haven't even told you what she is yet. This is a pink Birkin. I have a regular Birkin, and she looks pretty good. The last couple leaves that she's given me are like super variegated, almost completely white. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. I was like, are you trying to off yourself or something? But I thought a pink version of that would be really pretty. I don't know a lot about these. I've tried to do some research. I think these are fairly new cultivars. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to look when it's mature. Pink Birkin. She doesn't look very pink right now. She is kind of a little bit blush. You can see the bottom of the leaves there. So I want to hang on to her for a little bit longer to kind of get an idea of like what she's going to look like before I sell her. I don't want to sell something that I don't feel 100% confident knowledge base wise, because I don't know, if someone wants to ask me questions about it, I don't want to be like, I don't know, just sell these. Like I actually take time to like try to research these plants and have knowledge. Oh my gosh, I'm over a cold and I don't talk a lot normally during my day. All this recording today, I recorded podcast stuff before I recorded this, and so my throat's like, girl. Okay, my next one is this pink philodendron pink princess. I felt like if I'm going to do a Valentine's drop, I have to have some pink plants, and what better pink plant to have than a pink princess? She's cute. I have 2 adult pink princesses that do not look as good as this one, and I think it's because of where I got it from. I know that some of these guys have been showing up in places that you normally would not see a pink princess, but I know there's a lot of talk on the internet and a lot of people talking about the importance of variegation in a plant, and that is where the value comes in. And I feel like on these juvenile leaves, that this is pretty good. I'm really happy with the way that those look so far. That is the newest leaf that she just gave me. She just came out, she was like on the verge of coming out, and then she came out while she was with me. Okay. Moving right along, I have another philodendron for you. I think that I've not seen in person before, and I know there's a few different versions with different names, but here we are. I know that there's like a few different, not versions, but similar plants to this, but I'm really excited about this one, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But here she is. Oh, let's see if I can do that. Okay. It's a philodendron white princess tricolor. Yes. Look at that leaf. Okay. That leaf looked a lot better earlier. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it my grow light just decided to burn it or something, but it's also a little puffy. She's looking a little rough right there. Isn't she pretty? She's giving me a new leaf. So you can see it right there. It's coming right out. I can't wait for it to unfurl, and I see how beautiful it is. Now I do see some white on it, which again, since I bought these online, I did not get to buy, I didn't see the plant before I bought it. I just kind of bought it in hopes that it was going to be good. It was kind of like a gamble. But I think when you're buying from a supplier, you don't get pictures of the exact plant. I'm really happy with the variegation that I see in the stem. So you can see here, there's that pink and that white. So I feel confident that as this plant matures It's going to give us some pink and some white. I'll pop a picture up on it so that you can see what this girl's potential is, but I'm really super excited about this leaf. I'm kind of sad that it decided to like tank a little bit on me, but I'm hoping that next leaf that comes out before the drop will be beautiful. I'm pretty excited about this plant. Now there are white knights and what's the other one? White knights, white. Oh God, I feel like there's some more white ones. There's, I can't remember, but I'll put them on the screen for you. I know there's another one. The difference that you can tell is in the stem. That's where your different is. I think the white knights, and I hope I'm saying this right because I don't have it in front of my face right now. I think the white knights are red. Like all this would be red. Like in here. I might keep one and grow it out bigger to kind of just, my own personal experiment to see how long it takes to get that pink and white leaf. But yeah, I will definitely have one available in that drop. The next plant I'm really excited about is not an aroid. I was on the side and I was just like, oh my God, like this is really cool. And I like big plants, and I don't know if anybody else is interested in these, but I know that like they're kind of trending. I know the variegated versions of these are trending right now, but I'm not in a place to invest in one of those to have to sell. Or yeah, I don't feel like I have a market big enough to buy plants that are that expensive to turn around and sell. So I went with a similar version, not a similar version, but like, a version of the plant, but in a different color. And I'm so excited because these guys look so pretty when they're mature. I'm just going to not make you wait any longer. We have this girl. Isn't she cute? Let me try to tip her so that I don't spill dirt everywhere. But this is I think I'm saying this right, a CM Ruby Banana. CM Ruby Banana. She's newly just unfurled. New leaf unfurled. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. It unfurled right after she came. And so I was super excited. And I was kind of hoping, now the pictures that I saw of the starter plants online already had some of the red in it. I'll pop up a mature version of this so that you can see again what its potential is. And the pictures of the starters that they had already had that red in there. And I was kind of like, I was really hopeful that this was going to have that, so that, again, just for like visual purposes and for reselling purposes, I was really kind of hoping that was already going to have that on there, but it doesn't. So it's okay. It's okay. I feel like the next leaf that we get will have it. I might have to get me one for myself. A guy that I follow here on YouTube, he has one. And so it was really nice to kind of see a photo of someone else or a video of someone else that has one, because then you're like, okay, for sure, I know this is what it's going to look like, because it almost looks like too good to be true. Like it's too pretty. Like, is it really going to look like that? And so I was excited to see that. So shout out to Sydney Plant Guy for sharing those videos that I happened to see with your banana tree. So it makes me excited. I feel like now after recording this, I'm going to have to go get me one. Ooh, I might keep one. I don't know. Here we go. But yes, there she is. Oh, okay. I thought I had one more left, but I actually have two more left. So my next one is this pretty girl. Let me look at the name so I don't say it wrong. But when I purchased this, I was not paying attention. To the name fully. This is a hybrid. And so I thought that it was the one of the parrot that thought this is what it was, and it was not, which I'm not super mad about, because like this adult version of this plant is really pretty too. So I'm kind of excited about it. I definitely thought it was something else, but okay, I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to show you. So here we go. This is an anthurium. This is an Anthurium luxurians radicans hybrid. So, I feel like, when I got this plant in, I felt like I was kind of underwhelmed with it as well, because I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting it to look like. I didn't have like really hardly any expectations, but I honestly felt like it looked like a common plant, or like almost like something I would see outside. And I think that's why I was like, what? So then after that, like when I seen it, I went to look at my order form and I was like, I thought I ordered it. And I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a hybrid. I'm going to pop a adult picture up. I'm going to pop a mature picture of this up. They're very pretty, like so pretty. They come in with this like goldish, brownish, I'm going to say gold, like a tan color when the new leaf comes in, and then it hardens off. But yeah, they're beautiful. So that one looks good. Like, I guess I was looking at these other ones. These are kind of meh. They're the baby ones. They don't really look like anything. This one definitely looks more like the luxurians, which is the plant that I admire. So It's another anthurium. And I'm just like testing the waters to see if I can do these. Okay, my last plant that I have in this haul that I am so excited to show you. So I actually bought a mature plant. This was like one of the ones that I like went out on a little bit of a limb. Not a limb, but like I spent more because it was a mature plant. And I talked about this plant in my last video. If you guys haven't watched that, make sure you check that one out after you watch this. I'll link it. But it was like wish list plants. And it's so funny because like here we are, January is not even over yet. And I have already gotten one of my wish list plants that were on that list. And I couldn't pass it up. So I bought the adult version because it had a bunch of pups with it. And so I was like, yes, I can go ahead and propagate those babies and not have to worry about doing them from corms. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about alocasias. And this is not the extreme version, aka the variegated version, but we do have oh my god, I'm so excited. Look at that. Alocasia Friday. So pretty. Now, I do want to say, I'm going to show you all the leaves. Look at that. So cute. Okay, last one. It's like a carousel. Okay, that one got damaged. That one was a little beat up in shipping. I was pleasantly surprised, impressed with their shipping, like the way that they wrapped their plants. Honestly, I don't know what I was expecting with an alocasia this big and how they were going to ship it, but they freaking did it. They did the dang thing like that. You know, I would say the only damage that I got, I'm just going to set this right here. You could kind of see it on this side. There's a little bend right there. And so there's a little blemish right there. And then of course we've got our new leaf that's coming in, and then we've got these other ones. But yeah, I was kind of worried about an alocasia just because I've shipped an alocasia before, which in my defense, I think it was going dormant. I shipped it to a friend. I think it was going dormant. Like I noticed that the leaf looked a little dormant-y as I was packing it. And I told her that I was like, if this leaf goes, like, don't be sad. I mean, understandably so, you're going to be sad, but like, don't throw it away. Like the corm's still good. Just, keep it watered and in a warm, sunny place, and it'll grow a new one. If not soon, in the springtime, it definitely will. I do have to say that I was a little underwhelmed when I opened it up and saw it. I'm going to tell you why. You're looking at this and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how would you be underwhelmed? These things photograph incredible. It's freaking incredible. Like, look how pretty that is. Look how almost like fake it looks. But in person, I'm looking at it now, it does not look like that. I don't know. And it's not as velvety either. Like, it's almost like an imitation velvet. Like, it is a little velvety. I don't really know how to describe the texture of it. If you have one of these and you have a better way to describe it, let me know in the comments so that others can like understand what the hell I'm talking about. It definitely like looks velvety. Like, it looks like, what's a velvety? Like a Micans or almost like a varicosum. Those things are super velvety, like literally feel like velvet. This looks like it would feel like velvet, but it does not. It does not feel that way. It's very weird. It's interesting. I still love it. And of course, like when I pick it up and I look at it at the camera, I'm like, oh my God, like it's so pretty. So I got quite a few babies off of that. Hopefully, I just repotted those. I don't know that I will have those ready for the drop because I did just separate them, and I feel like I need to make sure they're not going to like tank. It's because alocasias are so freaking finicky. There she is in all her glory. So yeah, okay, like that took a really long time, and I didn't want this video to be that long for you all. So let me just quickly analyze what my thoughts were on the shipping process. Of course, we're shipping in the winter, and so that makes a huge difference. You always want to make sure that pay attention to where your shipper is shipping from, and pay attention to your location. And if you have weather that's under 50 degrees, you definitely want to invest in a heat pack. This might be a hot take, but I personally feel like if you are a supplier of plants, if you are selling plants, you need to include a heat pack, regardless of whether or not that buyer pays for it or not. And when I say that, I mean you need to add that difference on to your shipping cost or automatically, or I think you should add it onto your plant costs. Because I'm saying this because for someone who is new to the plant world, they might not know that. Like, they may not think about that, and they might see the hot packs and it not register to them, or they may not even see that. I will use myself as a perfect example. I feel like I'm pretty well vast in knowledge, even though it's newbie knowledge. I feel like I've done a lot of freaking research and spent a lot of time learning about plants and their ins and outs. And this was the first time that I purchased online. And me even knowing that the weather is a huge factor in shipping plants, I forgot to add the heat pack on to the order and shipping insurance. Like, they offered shipping winter insurance. I forgot to add that on, and I didn't even think about it until like a day or so later. And I had to message them and be like, hey, or email them and be like, hey, I just placed a really big order because this is not a cheap order. I forgot to add this on. Can I pay you extra for it? Can you add that on? And they were super nice enough to not charge me extra. They just went ahead and said that they would put it in there. But where I'm getting at with this is that, what if I would have not thought about that? What if I would have forgotten and spent all that money on these plants and then they come dead because it got cold outside or got stuck, in transit longer than it should have and it froze, whatever the case. I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. When I sell a plant, I add that additional onto either the cost of the plant or the shipping. I'm not going to tell you, hey, you need to make sure that you pay me extra for this. It's just my personal opinion. You guys tell me what you think. It might be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. That's just the way that I do business. And I just think that it makes sense to me that as a business person, I've had my business for a long time. And I know that sometimes you may lose a little bit here, but you gain it here in certain areas. And I just feel like that's a good customer service thing. Just make it happen. Just add it on. Does it suck? Yeah. But if you're adding on to the price of your shipping or you're adding on to the price of your plant, you're not out anything. So anyways, let me step off of my soapbox and tell you about my overall experience. So my overall experience was, these were packaged perfect, with the exception of the fact that the mail was delayed by no fault of the growers. It's just something that happened. I think they came in good. I didn't experience any shock. I don't think we did, a couple plants lost some of their baby leaves, which is normal. That would have happened anyways. I think it goes without saying, if you know, maybe you don't know, if you are buying a plant online, those conditions of shipping live plants are going to experience some shock. Plants are going to experience some shock. So I think going into that, knowing that and understanding that is a really important factor. These came in as plugs, so they were not bare root, which makes a difference, I think. And they were not dry. So the acclimation was just a lot, I think it was a lot easier. And I have really good temperatures. I try to keep the humidity up. I try to keep the temperature stable and the lighting stable. Overall, 10/10 would recommend purchasing plants in the mail. And I'm not just saying that because I sell plants. I'm saying that from my own personal experience. I do plan to buy more. I do plan to ship more. And so, I don't know. I just feel like that's exciting. It was exciting because I got to be on the receiving end of plant mail. And that was super exciting. It was a little stressful, not gonna lie. Just constantly tracking and making sure, checking the weather and everything like that. But I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would definitely recommend it. Leave me any comments down below. Let me know which one of these guys was your favorite. If you have any of these guys, let me know and tell me, if you have any tips or tricks. And if you didn't like any of these guys, tell me down below. I feel like I started out with a plan on how I wanted this video to go, and I kind of went on my little tangents like I like to do. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please let me know down below by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure that you give yourself some love this week and buy yourself a plant. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!